Good evening, or should I say good morning, because it's already past 12 a.m. here. Okay, so this is Lansky of Pinoy Youth Chess, and I hope you're still awake and watching this live stream. Actually, this is a unscheduled live stream. Okay, wait, someone's talking to me. Is it okay? Huh? Okay, nevertheless, never mind if I'm asking my kid to check. Uh, Never mind. Sometimes the live stream doesn't show immediately. So good evening again, and to all the viewers of Pinoy U Chess. Uh, this is Lansky, and for those that have not yet subscribed, I invite you to subscribe to this live stream of mine. Actually, I was not really gonna live stream today. I'm just testing my green screen. As you can see, is there's no more box that boxes me here because I'm already using a green screen, and I did this so that I would be able to provide more quality content or quality video to you. So I just found out that Radjabov pummeled Dubov. Actually, he blanked Dubov, and Dubov was not able to score. And uh, on the first game, actually, Raja have the black pieces, and he won against Dubov. It's kind of a wild game, and but what we will be examining is, so you already know the result. It's already 2-0, and there's no more game for Dubov. I think he's already eliminated. And let's see how the game went. Let's go back to the starting moves. Okay, so it was a knight f3 first move for Raja, and this opening could transpose to any type of opening. It could be Queen's Gambit, it could be Grunfeld, it could be King's Indian, Nimzu Indian, and you name it. So all the d4 systems is possible with knight f3. Could You could have the Kramnik system with the King's Indian that could also have the Queen's Gambit and so on. So the response is knight f6 and c4. So c4 is a recommendation of Kramnik. He has a book which is a white repertoire, which is based on knight f3. So we have here b6. Okay, so uh, uh, I forgot what's the name of the opening wherein you go b6 and then bishop b7. So we have d4 from Raja. So bishop b7, g3, g6, bishop g2, and we have bishop g7. So it's a double fianchetto for the Dubov and castling. Okay, so they're both castled now. Knight c3 for Raja. And we have here knight e4. So the Dubov wants to exchange knights immediately. So knight takes and bishop takes on e4. Okay, so bishop e3. So uh, we are in for a good fight here. Raja is strengthening his hold on the d4 square. Okay, c5 from Dubov undermining the center of Raja. So if d5, then the b2 square is free for the taking. So of course it won't happen. We have here queen d2, d6. So I think they're still in what you call this fairly curie here. This is just still a theoretical part of the opening, because opening nowadays even goes up to the 20th move, and we are still at the no it's already shown, but the all moves are shown already or available already in the notation, but we're still on the 10th move after d6, and we have here bishop h6 for Dubov. If I turn off the light, it's a little dark. If I turn light, I just turn off the light for an even lighting. Okay, bishop h6 for Raja, and we have knight d7. Okay, so we can see here that Raja is just strengthening his hold in the center. We have rook f d1, knight f6. So takes, exchange of bishops, and then rook ac1. So just a waiting move, I think so. Queen c7. So they're on, each of them is on a maneuvering stage. So knight h5, knight h4 for white. Raja is offering to exchange bishops. So Dubov did not exchange bishops. So rook a b8 for him, and we have here from Raja bishop takes e4. So knight takes e4 and queen e3. Okay. So knight f6, and then we have here queen g5. So the threat is knight f5. Okay, so of course the king has to prevent any penetration because there is a threat of knight f5 there. Okay, queen h6 and rook f c8. So I think it's still fairly even because there's no there's no immediate mate or any mating attack yet. So knight to f3. Okay, so king g8, b3, and then a6, knight g5. So this knight at f6 now is already some sort of trap, or trap, but it's not trap. It means it cannot get away or move from here because it has to defend the h7 square. So Dubov was alarmed by that, and he has to go queen d8 in order for him to go queen f8. Because if Dubov would not mind this threat here, there is actually a threat of rook d3 and then rook f3, threatening to take on the knight at f6, and then mate in 2 would follow. So that's the rationale for this queen d8 move. Okay, so knight f3, and then queen d7, king g2. So this, I think this is a precautionary move. So if the queen goes away from h6, uh, the king g2 move prevents a penetration on h3 by the black queen, Dubov's queen. Okay, we have here queen e6, rook d2. Okay, so we have uh, queen e4. So it's some sort of pinning the knight here. So the knight cannot move from the f3 square. Okay, so we have king f1, rook c7, rook d3. Dubov even, based on the engine analysis, even led a slight equalized or more than equalized already moments ago. So after queen f5, so king g2 again, queen e4. Actually, Dubov is offering to draw this game. So king f1, no, he doesn't want a draw because if he wants a draw, he can go queen f5 again. Of opening the possibility of a threefold repetition, which would be declared by arbiters as a draw. So rook b c8 for him. So Radja decides to close the position with d5. So it's now a closed position, semi-closed position here. There is no possibility of exchanging on d4 from the pawn at c5. Okay, so Dubov goes for the break here with b5, and then we have here h3. So the rook goes to b8 again because he wants to exchange on uh, c4, and then if white takes on c4 with the pawn, and then there goes rook b4. Okay, so the response is g4, and then we have e5. So d takes e6, so that's en passant, and then queen takes e6, and we have here queen f4. So the queen decides to go back since he's doing nothing at h6. So it's now threatening, adding pressure on the d6 square. Okay, so knight e8 to strengthen the d6 square, and then we have rook e3. So what's happening here? Let's analyze. I think the position of Radja is already a little bit advantageous for him, and the engine also says so. So let's see what would happen. So we have here uh, knight g5. So this knight g5 is already adding pressure to the f7 square. Okay, so we have a d5 break. So takes d5, and then queen takes d5. So there is a threatened mate there at h1. The reason that Raja's king goes back to g1. Okay, so he nearly, do you think he nearly missed that? So c, is this not a blunder? Because c4, and then there is rook takes e8, and then this uh, rook at c7 is now unprotected. Let's see what would happen. So is that a trap if I would take on there? Is it a trap? Let's go back. For example, if I take here, is it a trap to take here? Sorry, there is, it's not really a trap, but the knight at g5 would be defenseless or would be impriced. They call that impriced. That's the correct term for that. So the reason why not take on here, because there is a recapture here. Okay. So the move made by Radja is b takes c4, and then we have b takes c4, and we now have knight to e4. Okay. So rook c to b7, and then we have rook to c4. Is it a capture of a pawn? Yes, it's a capture of a pawn. But there's a check here. And if the king goes here, then there is f5. Do you think it's not a blunder from Radja? Let's see what would happen. So, we have a check, and then king goes h2. And how about f5 here? Is not f5 possible here? Since the knight could just move, because if check here, the knight could go up. Okay, so we have here queen d1, and we have king g3. So the king is actually is not trapped. So we have here takes no h5. So rook f3. So there's a counter threat there. So okay, we now have f5. I think Dubov is going for broke here, because he actually is softening the defenses of his king. The king is very much vulnerable right now, and there is no sure mate for him. Maybe he thought to go for broke, and that's what he gets. I think so, because he's desperate. he is desperate to level the score, having been down one game, and he wants to level the score. Okay. Mm-hmm. So it's basically a very sharp game. Each one has their own counterplay here, and actually this move rook to b5 is not really good because if you take on f5, the queen would just take like that because there's a pin on the pawn. Although the rook could go like this, but still, maybe that's the reason. Because if the rook takes here, and then pawn takes, and then the queen could be taken. But because if you don't take here, no 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 sorry, yeah yeah, there's a check on e6. Okay, so by this time, sorry, that's the last move actually, and Dubov resigned. So why did he resign? Because this knight could not be saved. Yeah, this knight could not be saved anymore because if the king goes here, then there is a check, or goes here to f8, pawn takes e6, and then it's a discovered check, and the attack is actually overwhelming and cannot be stopped. So that's it. It's a very good game for Raja. And the reason why I stream actually is just to test my green screen. And nevertheless, thank you for the viewers of Pinoy Chess for watching this game. And for those that are not yet subscribed, I invite you to subscribe. We shall be having more videos later and shall be covering a lot of games from elite grandmasters, from elite events, from Grand Chess Tour, and even local tournaments here in the Philippines. And from time to time, a couple of very simple analysis of games and simple, what you call this, comments on games of old masters and uh, simple games that could help kids improve their chess. So thank you for watching and bye bye.